What's up, Spud Nation? Week 6 fantasy football rankings right here at sportscoach.com. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate every single member of Spud Nation out there. All right, week 6. Got to survive Atlanta's bye week and also Miami's bye week. But before we get to that, you guys know where to get at me. Email Craig at thesportscoach.com. Hit me up on the website, thesportscoach.com. YouTube, Twitter handle at thesportscoach, and Facebook. You can like me, do all that fun stuff on there, and the Sports Coach Facebook page. I update with tweets, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Let's get to it. Like I said, bye weeks, Miami, Atlanta. The big news today, Julio Jones likely out for the season. Lots surrounding Julio Jones. He's one of the top receivers in the game. What does that do for Matt Ryan, his value? Tony Gonzalez, their other big name. All right, here we go. Without Julio, you lose your best receiver. What's worse, Roddy White has been, let's just say, less than spectacular. White is battling with hamstring, ankle, every injury you can think of, White's been battling. The good thing about Roddy White is you could cut this dude's leg off and he will still play. The guy is a gamer. He wants to be out on the field and wants to help all of his fantasy owners out there. The problem is he hasn't been very successful on his injured ankle. So, what does this mean? Atlanta's got a bye week, thank goodness. Will they bring a receiver in? That has yet to be determined. Right now, that jumps Harry Douglas into wide receiver 2 range for Atlanta. So you got Roddy White hobbling around as their top receiver. Harry Douglas going to fill in, do the best he can. That gives Harry Douglas some value in the fantasy football world. He's definitely worth a flyer and especially worth a spot on your bench. So pick him up. Also, Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez will have value no matter what. He's going to draw more defensive attention, but when hasn't Tony Gonzalez drawn attention? Gonzalez will still get his targets and he will still be productive. Furthermore, Atlanta gets Steven Jackson back, which is going to be a huge upgrade at running back. Jackson can get involved receiving, running the ball. He's a better running back than what they've had on the field before. So, Atlanta's offense should still be productive, but losing Julio Jones will definitely be an impact. All right, there we go. Quarterbacks. Let's get started. And here we go. Peyton Manning is number 1. I received an email saying they wanted more stats. Stats. Here's a stat for you. Peyton Manning is pretty frickin' good. If you want statistics, this isn't exactly the place you're going to find it. I'm not here to regurgitate numbers at you. I look at stats, I break them down, I use my own formula to get my rankings. So, Peyton Manning, number 1. The question I have about this game is, will Peyton Manning play the entire game? Probably not. How much will he play? I could honestly see Denver putting 40 up in the first half with very little resistance. Peyton Manning's going to get his points. He starts, you start him. Even if he plays a half for you, he's still going to be a top 5 quarterback scorer this week. Aaron Rodgers, number 2. I've been getting some emails about Aaron Rodgers as a buy now kind of guy. People are selling him. You have to be absolutely out of your mind to sell Aaron Rodgers. Packers are still a potent offense. Packers still throw the ball a bunch. And he's got stud receivers all over. If you have people in your league trying to sell Aaron Rodgers right now, you buy low and enjoy all benefit you get. Drew Brees, number 3. Matthew Stafford, number 4. Calvin coming back, Matthew Stafford jumps right back into elite quarterback status. Phillip Rivers, number 5. You can't ignore stats. It doesn't matter matchup. Nothing matters right now. San Diego's throwing the ball everywhere. Andrew Luck, number 6. Tony Romo, number 7. Coming off that gigantic game. Tony Romo is kind of in the same ballpark as Aaron Rodgers. He's got weapons galore. Top-level tight end. Top 2 wide receiver. And he's got Terrence Williams stepping in for Miles Austin, which if any of you purchased my draft guide, knew how high on Terrence Williams I was. I knew Miles Austin would get hurt, and I knew Terrence Williams would be productive. I loved him coming into this season. Those of you who purchased the draft guide, well done. I'm sure you were all over the Terrence Williams pick. Tom Brady, number 8. Brady owners are desperately hoping for a bounce-back week this week. Gronk should help that. Amendola playing in more than just 3 wide receiver sets should also help his value. Jay Cutler, number 9. Number 10, RG3. RG3 is the king of garbage time right now, but he's putting up fantasy numbers, leaving him in the top 10. Coming off that bye, RG3 should be solid though. Cam Newton, number 11. Kaepernick, number 12. Ben Roethlisberger, number 13. Alex Smith, number 14. Number 15, I have Nick Foles. It's looking like Michael Vick will not play. Foles at number 15. Brandon Weeden, number 16. Those of you in 2 quarterback leagues, Nick Foles and Brandon Weeden are pretty solid pickups. You can also throw Chad Henne in the mix with Blaine Gabbert getting hurt. Those guys are pretty solid selections in 2 quarterback leagues. You all know Henne's going to be behind, so he's going to throw the ball everywhere. Plus, he has 2 very good receivers in Justin Blackmon, Cecil Shorts. You have Nick Foles. Philly should be a run-first team, but Foles will still throw it all over. And Brandon Weeden, of course. Josh Gordon, Jordan Cameron, they're going to be right in games, so look for Weeden to have to throw it all over. Number 17, Sam Bradford. Hasn't looked pretty, but has put up decent fantasy numbers. Terrell Pryor, number 18. Schedule is going to start getting more and more difficult for Pryor. It's going to be a good gauge this week to see if his production can maintain that level. Russell Wilson, 19. Andy Dalton, 20. Eli Manning, 21. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 22. Geno Smith, 23. Flacco, 24. There you go, quarterbacks. Running backs, Jamal Charles, number 1. Adrian Peterson, number 2. Doug Martin, number 3. Doug Martin will just continue to get carry after reception out of the backfield. His workload has been crazy this year. Look for that to equal fantasy points. Marshawn Lynch, number 4. Arian Foster, number 5. Number 6, Ray Rice. I loved what they did this past week with Ray Rice. 20 some odd touches is crazy. I love it. That's what they should be doing every single week. He's number 6 because, well, there's some good running backs in front of him, and I don't really trust the coaching staff in Baltimore just yet. Hopefully they continue to give him the rock. Alfred Morris, 7. LaShawn McCoy, 8. Number 9, Matt Forte. Number 10, Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, always explosive, always ready to break that big run. Le'Veon Bell, number 11. I'm intrigued at what this kid can do. They're going to hand him and him only the ball in Pittsburgh, and he looked fantastic 2 weeks ago. Let's see if that can continue. DeMarco Murray, 12. Noshawn Moreno, number 13. Trent Richardson, number 14. Fred Jackson, number 15. Once you know it, this guy has become fantasy gold. Fred Jackson, check your waiver wires. In some smaller leagues, I'm sure Fred Jackson is still floating around there on free agency. Pick him up and enjoy the benefit. Frank Gore, number 16. Bilal Powell, 17. Look for him, his carries to kind of go on the decline. It looks like Chris Ivory's back. Goodson's back. I still like Powell. Hopefully they continue to keep him involved in that offense. Eddie Lacy, 18. Danny Woodhead, welcome to the top 20 at number 19. Playing on a team that throws the ball all over the place. He's a great pass-catching running back, and now it looks like he's going to have to carry the ball a few more times with Matthews getting injured and Ronnie Brown not being so great. It looks like Woodhead's going to have to become quite involved in that offense. CJ Spiller, number 20. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Willis McGahee. I chop him at 21. Zach Stacy at 22. Welcome to the starting role in St. Louis, Stacy. He looked good. Pretty good numbers last week. Look for him to continue to fight for that job. The thing that worries me about that entire situation is there are 4 running backs there. They're all going to fight for carries, and Stacy's going to have to be perfect to keep his job. Chris Johnson, 23. Darren Sproles, 24. D'Angelo Williams, 25. Giovanni Bernard, 26. Andre Ellington. Hopefully y'all watched the show last week. Ellington, workload is going to continue to increase. Lamar Miller, 28. 29, MJD. 30, David Wilson. 33, 31, Ryan Matthews, big question mark. Injury bug, we don't know. Oh, and I apologize. Lamar Miller is on bye. Cross him off then. Mendenhall, Pierre Thomas. Pierre Thomas, I have a hard time buying in. 1 million touches this past week. That's great. I love it. Touches usually equal production. Pierre Thomas is a free agent in plenty of leagues out there. People are really skeptical of if this is going to continue. Darren Sproles is the guy. Pierre Thomas is the guy. We don't know. All we know is that they want to throw the ball more than they run the ball. So Darren Sproles should be the running back to own. Pierre Thomas is a good guy to keep your eye on. If you're really struggling to find guys, throw darts. Pierre Thomas is right there. Deep play value this week. This week only, deep play value. Monty Ball, Ronnie Hillman. I think Denver's going to be up by so much. Backups are going to see lots of playing time. Monte Ball with his 1 carry last week for 1 yard. It shows you where he's at with Denver right now. It's unfortunate. I was riding the Monty Ball bandwagon coming into this year. Drafted him. He's just dying on my bench right now. Hopefully some blowout games, some blowout minutes, and some production will show the Denver front office what they drafted him for. I also like Marcel Reese. Marcel Reese should continue to be involved in that offense. With Jennings' injury, McFadden being the fragile little thing that he is, Marcel Reese has good value. Tuck him away on your bench, and if you need him for a deep play, slide him in. The mess in New England continues. LeGarrette Blount, he didn't look great. Stephen Ridley should be bouncing back this week from injury, and Brandon Bolden will be involved in the passing offense. I can't start any of them. I'm staying away. You never know what you're going to get from a week-to-week basis. Wide receivers. Calvin, number 1. Demaryius Thomas, number 2. Dez, number 3. Brandon Marshall, number 4. AJ Green, number 5. Randall Cobb, number 6. I'm keeping Andre Johnson, number 7. I know his quarterback play has been less than stellar. He's too good. He's too damn talented. He will continue to be productive. We just need someone to be able to throw him the ball. Josh Gordon, 8. 9, Victor Cruz. 10, Pierre Garçon. 11, Eric Decker. 12, Wes Welker. You got 3 Broncos in the top 12, and they belong there. Bottom line, Denver will throw the ball all over Jacksonville, and they will put up a tremendous amount of points. Dwayne Bowe, 13. Reggie Wayne, 14. Alshon Jeffrey, 15. I am buying in big time with Alshon Jeffrey. Brandon Marshall continues to see a ton of coverage. Martellus Bennett, they need to pay attention to him. They need to pay attention to Matt Forte. And that leaves a very, very talented Alshon Jeffrey. One-on-one a lot of time. He's a definite red zone target. Hey, for those of you who have been following me, I have been all over Alshon Jeffrey since last season. I think he's going to pay big dividends to anyone who ran out and drafted him, picked him up off free agency, or any of you that see him on the waiver wire right now, scoop him up. Jordy Nelson, 16. Deshaun Jackson, 17. Little low for D-Jax, but Nick Foles in the mix. I am just not a believer. Danny Amendola, 18. We're hoping that they continue to work him in. 2 wide receiver sets, get him on the field more than he's sitting. Cecil Shorts, 19. I love the fact Henny is back. Henny loves throwing it to Shorts, and it should be great. Mike Williams, 20. Antonio Brown, 21. Hakeem Nicks, 22. Julian Edelman, 23. Larry Fitz, 24. 25. Terrence Williams, there's that man again. Productive receiver, tough to cover, and you know what, fantasy owners, you're loving him right now. Vincent Jackson, 26. Justin Blackmon, 27. Torrey Smith, 28. Anquan Bolden, 29. Steve Smith, 30. Kembrell Tompkins. Colston. James Jones. Denarius Moore. T.Y. Hilton. This is where stats and logic go completely out the window. T.Y. Hilton going up against Seattle. There were so many times where T.Y. Hilton, a couple of my clients, T.Y. Hilton, should he start? No. There are better plays than T.Y. Hilton going up against Seattle. Well, wouldn't you know it, T.Y. Hilton went absolutely ballistic against that great defense. Sometimes logic just doesn't work. So we roll with the punches and we survive to see another day. T.Y. Hilton, much better matchup this week. Look for him to continue to be involved in that offense. 36. Stephen Hill, 37. I like Robert Woods from Buffalo. Rookie, a lot of upside, a lot of talent. They seem to be targeting him, throwing him the ball. The thing that's the big question mark in Buffalo is who is going to play quarterback at the end of the day. E.J. Manuel on the shelf for a month, maybe more. Buffalo's going to need some help back there. Greg Jennings, 38. Again, quarterback controversy all over the place in Minnesota. Bring Josh Freeman in. Matt Castle, Christian Ponder. So right now I see Christian Ponder as the third best quarterback on that roster. Matt Castle looked fantastic. Adrian Peterson wants him to be the starter. Josh Freeman's going to have every opportunity to win that job. With Castle at the helm right now, Greg Jennings' value goes up a little bit, as you saw in Castle's only start. Christian Ponder at the helm, wide receivers lose all their value. Santonio Holmes, number 39. Keenan Allen, number 40. I have a big star next to him. Keenan Allen, rookie, with all the injuries there, he's going to be wide receiver 1 material in San Diego. I still like Antonio Gates as the best target there, but Keenan Allen, a name to look at, maybe a guy to pick up, stash him on your bench, see if it pans out. Stevie Johnson, Doug Baldwin, Vincent Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Marlon Brown, Tavon Austin, Sidney Rice, Golden Tate, Austin Pettis, Chris Givens, Eddie Royal, and Ted Ginn Jr. There you go, wide receivers. A lot of depth at receiver, a lot of home run hitters at the receiver position. Tight ends, Jimmy Graham, number 1. Jordan Cameron, number 2. Julius Thomas, again, should have a monster game. Jacksonville, I don't think it's going to be close. Antonio Gates, number 4. Greg Olsen, number 5. He's in a walking boot, but a lot of times they do that precautionary stuff, and then your guy will go out there and play anyway. Keep your eye on Greg Olsen, and if he plays this week. Jason Witten, Vernon Davis, Colby Fleener, Martellus Bennett, Sean McGrath. Sean McGrath is probably a name floating around on the free agent wire. I saw Matthew Berry started Sean McGrath last week. I've been talking about this cat for a couple weeks now. I like him. Alex Smith and his puss arm, He likes to dump off. He likes to throw to his tight end, and McGrath is the guy. Plus, he's got a sweet beard. Check him out. If he's a free agent, he's not a bad guy to slide in there, especially if you have Tony Gonzalez, you're looking for a deep buy play, or even Charles Clay, and you're looking for tight end help right now. Sean McGrath, slide him in there. Jermichael Finley, Heath Miller, Jared Cook, Kyle Rudolph, Zach Miller, Delaney Walker, Brent Selleck, Jermaine Gresham, Kellen Winslow, Dallas Clark, Brandon Myers. Here are some guys that I think might be floating around in your free agent wire that you definitely need to look at and pick up. First of all, Garrett Graham. This guy jumps into top 10 tight end territory. Owen Daniels on the shelf for probably a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Garrett Graham, he's got tons of value. Tons. Matt Schaub isn't very good. The next quarterback they slide in there won't be very good, but they are throwing to their tight ends heavily, and Garrett Graham will be productive. Another guy, Brandon Pettigrew. Nate Burleson goes out. Brandon Pettigrew slid in there, and he is now the number 2 receiver, basically. He's getting targeted a bunch the past 2 games without Burleson, and look for that to continue. And lastly, Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed, yeah, nice name. Productive tight end. Any of you in deep leagues, you need a tight end, Jordan Reed, Washington Redskins, pick him up. Again, I have a client, Charles Clay. Charles Clay on bye. Looked at the tight ends, Jordan Reed. He's the best available. Slide in there, pick him up. He'll get you points every week as opposed to a guy like Delaney Walker where he's more a blocker than a receiver. I like it. So Jordan Reed, guaranteed points. Might not be a ton of points, but you're guaranteed some points. Better than a goose egg. There you go, Spud Nation. Week 6. Hey, survive in advance. Survive the bye weeks. Survive the injuries. Make the right moves. You got any questions, comments, concerns? Hit me up. Best way, Craig@thesportscoach.com. That's my email. I'll answer your email as quickly as possible. You got me at Twitter, @thesportscoach. Facebook. Anywhere you guys need me, I'm here. So, good luck. Until next time, we're out.